All right, there we are. All right, had some technical issues here. Hey, I just want to give you something for midday, something to look at that you probably haven't seen. And this is relevant for those who are leading in something. Leading is not just in church, but you may have a craft, you may have some creativity, there may be some certain creative progression that you are heading that requires the help of another or requires an association with a group of people to get something done. And so I just want to leave three significances to you. So if you have something to write with, write it down. Three significances. And also, I'm going to have this on YouTube later. Okay? So I'm limited to the amount of time that I can put on YouTube. So I'm going to say this to you, and I want you to really listen to it. Whenever you're doing something, you have to make sure that anybody who's working with you has transcend. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. You want to make sure that whoever is working with you has a great sense of esteem. Because if someone has an average view of themselves, they will interject that average view into what you're involved in, and they will make your work average. You may be doing something great, but if they have an average view of themselves, they will naturally perceive what you're doing as average, and they won't see the importance or the zone to get things done with you. So make sure that anybody who's working with you has a great perspective of themselves. If I'm working with you, Sherry, but I have an average view of myself, whenever you give me something to do, I'm going to perceive it as average. I'm not going to see the importance in it, and I'm going to think the company is just as average as I am. So if I feel average in myself, like I'm going nowhere, and you give me something to do, then I'm going to perceive you as average as well. And I'm going to be a bit casual in how I carry out my affairs with your company. So make sure that people that work with you are above average, that they see themselves as extraordinary. Because if you have someone average working with you, they won't see the relevance or the validity of what you're doing. And there's going to be a lot of casual transactions going on, and it's going to be crazy. And I find out that, well, let me slow myself down. Make sure you're looking at that. Number two, if you invest money into someone for doing something that's not their dream, it will never be received as enough. If I give you money to do something that you have no passion for, it will look like it's not enough. But if you receive a little money in what your passion is, it'll seem like you've received $1 million. If you invest money into people who are doing something that's not their passion, it won't be enough. Why? Because it's hard to pay someone or get someone to do something that's not their dream on the same level that they would do it if it was. So you have to make sure that people that are around you, that this is a passion of theirs. If you have a lot of people around you helping you and it's not their passion, some things will not get done. Do you follow what I'm saying? If you guys understand what I'm saying, let me see something. Say I understand what you're saying. Yeah. And the last one, your teammates need to be as excellent as you are in order for the assignment to make the distance. Whoever's working with you have to be as excellent as you. They may not do what you do. They may not do the things you do, but they have to be excellent in what they do in order for the assignment to work. If you have a lot of people around you that's not excellent, I'm not talking about friends. They could be your friends, but they have to be excellent in a certain skill. They have to be excellent in a certain discipline or time. When they are excellent, they're going to make your assignment work because they're going to take a certain amount of ownership in that assignment to make it happen. So number one, if someone's working with you that sees themselves as average, when you give them something to do, they're going to downgrade your relevance. Giving assignments to average people downgrades your relevance. I'm going back over this. Giving assignments to people who see themselves as average will downgrade your relevance. Why? They're going to think your company is worth nothing. They know they're not giving their best, so they're going to think you're not giving yours. They're going to think you're desperate for giving them something to do. They know they're not going to go the distance. They know they're not going to give 100. So if you give them something to do, they're going to think something's wrong with you. That is something. A person who sees themselves as low will see the opportunity you give them as non-relevant. If a person perceives themselves as little or nothing, or if they perceive themselves as having a passion somewhere else, they're going to see your company as charity because they know they're not giving their best to it. So watch who you give your assignments to. I'm going back over it. And number two, if you invest money into someone for doing something that's not their dream, they haven't earned enough. They're going to see it as it's not enough because you're paying them to do what they don't want. See, it's not a matter of the amount. It's a matter of the passion. If you give someone little to their passion, they're going to be like, wow. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, man. They're going to be wow. Hold on just a minute. Yeah, they're asking if I like KFC. I don't know how to take that. You feel me? And the last thing, your teammates must be just as excellent as you are. So begin to look at what you have around you. Jordy, begin to look at the people you have around you. Are they excellent? Are they excellent in what they do? Because you're going to fulfill their assignment and they're going to fulfill yours. We make each person better by having excellent people. You feel me? Each one of us make one another better by having excellent people. You got me? So I wanted to leave this with you because it's imperative for those who are doing something major and you have people that are working with you. You're working with them and you have people working with you. So you have to have excellence and people must perceive it as important. If you don't think it's important, it's going to get the least amount of commitment. They won't see it as opportunity. They're going to see it as a waste of time. You understand? So make sure you look at this. Sherry, make sure you look at this. Jordy, Jason, any of you, Charlie, any of you that have a business or some sort of creative thing, make sure you look at it a certain way and make sure the people look at it a certain way as well. I'm going to tell you something before I go. When a person thinks they're average or feels that they're average, they're going to show you how your company is. They're going to think it's just a make-believe company. They won't feel the urgency or the excellence. They won't feel the to make things go. They won't be fully convinced. When people are working with you and they're not really convinced about the success of what you're doing, they might not call themselves a quitter, but they will leave themselves open to distraction. I know it. I've been there. I've worked at a place that I didn't like, and I was like, oh, Lord, if I quit, I'm going to feel ashamed. So I don't want to tell them that I want to quit. I'm just going to keep showing up. But I'm going to make my body and my time susceptible to distraction, sickness, failure. I'm going to be an open magnet to disruption. When I'm involved in something that I'm not convinced about, I will become an open magnet to disruption. If I'm in something and pride is in my heart and I don't want to tell you I want to quit, I will become open to disruption. I will be open to situations that will come and make me sick or make me accident prone or put me in traffic. I'm going to wheel traffic. I'm going to wheel some sort of exit strategy to justifiably take me away from what you're doing. I don't want to tell you I'm quitting, but I will make myself open to a situation that will lead me to exit. And some of us quit without saying it. We quit without saying it because if I'm involved in something that my heart isn't in, I become open to other obligations that will lead me away from you in order so I won't say I quit. Just say you quit. Just say, I don't want to do it. But sometimes we don't want to say that because we want to please so many people that we can't tell them the truth. We won't tell them, I don't want to be involved. I'm not interested. You see, just say I'm not interested and to save everybody. You see? Yeah, that's the worst type of enemies. Those that will lead themselves to ruin because they're afraid to be honest. Did you understand what I'm saying? So you have to watch not to surround yourself with people who are looking for exits. Because as soon as you're on a roll, as soon as you're on a momentum, something happens. As soon as you're on a flow, they begin to see, uh-oh, I don't have time for me, so I need to put the brakes on it. Be careful that you don't work with a lot of people who are easily to apply the brakes. Because either they're going to quit or you're going to quit. Somebody's going to have to slow down, and you don't want it to be you. So hopefully you can take what I'm saying and use it. Hopefully it's relevant for what you're doing. Because you're doing some great things. You got awesome ideas. But this is the time. This is the time right now. This is the time to have the right people around you. This is the time right now to have the right associations that are just as excellent as you, that don't see themselves as average, because if they see themselves as average, they're going to get a misperception of what you're doing. I found you, but I'm glad. Thank you. Join me. I want you to follow me too. I'll follow back. Hey, I'm serious. They're going to slow you down, and you're going to be angry. You're going to be angry. You understand? So this is the time to do it. You hate for people to move your relevance down to nothing. An average person will wonder, well, why are you hiring me? This isn't a real company because I don't think I'm real. See, if I feel the company is important, then I become important. But if I feel the company is small, then I'm small. If I feel that I'm small, I'm going to make your company small. I'm going to make your impact small. Ask the people that work with you, how do you feel about what you're doing with me? How do you feel about yourself? You understand? All right, I'm going to go, and hopefully you have a great evening. Okay? Peace.